So just a little chat about Maya. What exactly is Maya? Well, exactly, but how to think about the concept of Maya. So Maya derives from the East, from the Hindus, from Buddhist philosophy, but Advaita Vedanta is a certain variety of Buddhism, just like Methodists or Holy Trinity are varieties of Christianity. So precisely what it says here about Advaita Vedanta, it's a Hindu tradition of textual exegesis and philosophy. Exegesis is an examination of a text, a critical examination of a text. In Hindu, and a path, a spiritual discipline and experience. So if we have an adherence to the concepts of Advaita Vedanta, then we take on board that all is Maya, and that means that there is no self, because Advaita Vedanta is a non-dualistic philosophy. That means that it doesn't distinguish mind from body or cosmos or universe or world or anything. All is one. It's all Brahman. It's all Holy Spirit, conscious Spirit of God. So this is where I'm coming from. This is my experience, because there's a video that I'm going to be posting. It's 3 minutes long, and it's a bit of a cartoon, illustration about, one of these kings of long ago in, these eastern regions. And basically, the theme of it is that one night the king has a dream that he is poor and starving, and he doesn't possess any riches and all these sort of things. And just as he's about to put a piece of bread towards his lips, and he's starving, he's on the point of death, a bird swoops down and steals the bread from him, and then he cries out in his anguish and his suffering, and then he wakes up from the dream. Due to the very realness of the dream, he started to question how can we discern whether this world that we're living in now is any less real than the dream that I was so sure was real. And I'm always speaking about this, of course. So then he summoned some holy people and some gurus, and the rest of the video goes on to speak about the concept of Maya. Because if you get into the deepest realms of meditation, then you enter into the nothingness, and everything else disappears. Absolutely everything. The cosmos disappears. Only the essence of the cosmos remains, which probably could be constituted as Brahman, the all that there is, the God consciousness of the cosmos. It's all one. You see, there is no separation. And when we get more and more involved with quantum physics these days, and other varying philosophies and studies, they're all leading to this oneness. We've been in this realm of detachment and isolation, and talking about all those things that are out there, when in actual fact nothing is out there and nothing is separate from us. And just to have a little bit of an inkling of the magnitude of what I'm saying here, many people, if you're old enough, you'll remember the Carl Sagan video, where I think it was one of the Cassini space modules that sent a photo back from when it was in the orbit of Jupiter. The photo was of Earth about this big, and it's called the small blue dot, or the tiny blue dot. And Carl Sagan made it famous, and it just brought into perspective the containment of all being one in this tiny little Earth. So even if we don't want to consider ourselves all one as the cosmos, because it's all made of the same stuff, then for sure it's a whole lot easier to consider that Earth is one living organism. And many people consider that planets are actually living entities. And there's been, audios and books written about this for hundreds of years. And they're absolutely fascinating. And, you know, Gaia is a living planet. It's a conscious planet, it really is. And everything, the cosmos is conscious. And so when I'm speaking about Maya and nothing is real, I'm meaning that nothing is real in that sense, in that it's separate and it's any more real than anything else. There's one reality here, and that's Brahman, that's God consciousness, that's Holy Spirit, that's the Creator. And it is Maya. It is all kind of like a dream. And like the king in this video that I'm posting below suggested, how can we ever discern whether this reality is any more real than the dreams? Because it was a terrifying experience for him. He considered it to be absolutely as real as this. And so what do we, you know, what's a natural assumption when we have things like this? That the dream world is at least as real as this. If we don't want to discount this world as being real, then we have to accept that on some level the dream world is absolutely as real, because all of our senses in the dreams tell us that that world is real, and all of our senses in this world tell us that this world is real. And if anybody wants to argue the Maya thing, then they always, you know, call on their senses to tell them, this is real, you know, my pain's real, if I was to throw you off a cliff, that'd be real. But if that happened in your dream, that would also be real, wouldn't it? Until you woke up. And so when we wake up in this dimension, that's death. Death of the illusion of the human form. And so it's a fascinating subject, and I would encourage you all to, you know, initiate yourself, if you're not already, into the depths of Eastern philosophy, because it really does shed a new light onto your philosophy and your handle on life. Now, if you don't meditate, then it won't mean that much to you, but if you are reasonably versed in meditation, and if you have ever got into this position whereby everything disappears, then you'll know exactly what they're speaking about, because that's the space. Now, when I was meditating, and I write about this in my book in the early days, I experienced this nothingness after about 6 months of constant meditating every day. Something just went pooh, just popped, and then I was in the open expanse of the abyss of Brahman, all that there is. And now every day I go into that nothingness, whereby I don't have a body, I'm not in the world, I'm not a human or anything like that. I'm not even conscious. I'm a-conscious, without consciousness, just the isness. And it's a beautiful respite from the trials and tribulations of the human experience. And so just to go into that for an hour each day, oh boy, and you come out of that a new person. So, you know, if you don't study Eastern philosophy, or philosophy in general, as I've said, then much of what I'm saying you will never grasp to a higher degree. Maybe you'll have loose concepts and sort of an intuition about it, but to really grasp the depth of what I'm saying, it pertains to experience, people. And so the more experience we have about other dimensions and other worlds and different states of consciousness, then the more we doubt this one, and that's just how it is. And so because I've had hundreds of alternate states of consciousness, then I most certainly doubt the authenticity and efficacy of this one. And it doesn't mean that I don't have any respect, or I don't love anybody, or I'm going to be evil because what's the point, it's not real. It doesn't mean any of that. That's just nonsense. What it means is that it's bigger than what we think. It is all one. Everything is all one. And so your hate and your love and your biases are all one. And at the end of the day, you know, the non-dualism doesn't distinguish any difference between any of that. And this is why I'm always trying to express the yin and the yang and the necessity of evil in the world. Because if there was no evil, then there couldn't possibly be any love. Because you need one to equate and compare to another. If you've got no comparison, how could you say that you actually have anything? You could say, well, we'd still have love. How would you know love if you didn't know the opposite? You wouldn't know it. There'd be something that you was involved with, and maybe you felt or thought, but you wouldn't know what it was. It's like having a bit of a bellyache. If you're a child and you've got a bellyache, then you don't know what that's about. There's a pain in your body, you don't know what it's about. And so, you know, it's... This dualism has to be to give us this maya, to give us this illusion of a reality. But fundamentally, then it's not a duality. It's a monism. It's all one, it's all God, and it's all a dream in the mind of God. And we can reduce all of our senses down to absolutely nothing. All that can be proven very, very easily. I mean, if, for instance, if you want to test your senses about what is real, then, you know, watch some hypnosis programs, and then you'll see a person eating an onion instead of an apple and thinking it's an apple and it's great and it's tasty. Then they'll ask them to put the hand in a freezing cold bucket of ice, and then bring the hand out, and then they'll be poking it and pricking it with a pin, and they don't feel anything. So very, very easily, these silly notions of how our pain makes things real, it's just Maya. It's nonsense. Because there's so many ways where we can detach ourselves from our pain. You know, when we're unconscious, we detach ourselves from our pain, don't we? So when we have illnesses and different things going wrong with us, we go to sleep and we get a bit of respite from it then, don't we? And so, you know, we don't feel the pain. And so this is why I'm always saying that it is Maya, because it's the only philosophy that I consider that I have any allegiance to it. I think it's just delivery at the door. Any allegiance with remotely, but I, in actual fact, have a profound allegiance with this one, Advaita Vedanta, because I have experienced it. I know it to be as real as anything could be, and as true as anything could be. And there we enter the paradox again. You know, the whole notion of Maya is illusion, and yet I say it's the truest, the most real of philosophies, notions, experience. You know, the cosmos is a paradox. This is just how it is. Language just takes us round in never-ending loops. And so that alone should tell us it's all Maya, because there's nothing definitive. We're just constantly swimming around and around and around, you know, chasing the tails, until we start to believe, which is illusion. So any of you that believe in Jesus and believe in, you know, Allah or whatever, well, you are exercising Maya, because there's no proof of that there, is there? No proof at all. And yet you insist absolutely that it's true. And so that's Maya. If you want to investigate that a little bit more, you'll benefit from it, I'm sure. And so, we'll leave this video here.